Chapter 114 of Married Thrice to Salted Fish. After nightfall, the Son of Heaven held a banquet for his ministers in Hoas Tower. The emperor sat in the main seat. The prime minister and the empress dowager were on his left and right. The officials and nobles were on either side of the hall. After the first cup of wine, the entertainers entered the stage. Music began to play and beautiful women danced. This dance was performed so gracefully, tripping lightly like startled swans, like dragons swimming through water. When people watched them, their eyes couldn't help but sparkle, their attention wholeheartedly caught. The leading dancer was the very thin girl painstakingly selected by the Empress Dowager and ordered to serve in Xinjiang Palace. The Empress Dowager would glance at the emperor from time to time. She saw that the emperor was more interested in eating than watching the beautiful dancers. But what interested him the most was undoubtedly the prime minister sitting on his left. Lin Qingyu had a low tolerance for alcohol. After just a few cups of wine, he was already a little tipsy. He was beautiful to begin with. Now, slightly intoxicated, his coldness melted away. His face became more beautiful and radiant. His slender lashes drooped. His cheeks were stained a light pink. At the corners of his eyes, inexplicably appeared a bit of spring color. The most terrible thing was that he had on the crane embroidered uniform of their highest minister. Such a great beauty was actually the prime minister of their court. Not only the emperor, many of the officials couldn't help but cast frequent looks at the prime minister, especially Li Chan, the vice minister of war, who practically hadn't taken his eyes off of him. These people probably thought their esteemed prime minister was more worthy of admiring than any of the entertainers. The Empress Dowager was in a delicate mood. She smiled and said, "His Majesty recovered from his illness so quickly. It is in no small thanks to your efforts, Qingyu." Lin Qingyu, who had been drinking, reacted a little slower. The Empress Dowager gives undue praise. It is but what this minister should have done. Even Ajia is no longer so polite with you. After all, we are all one family. If Wancheng were still alive, the emperor would be calling you Bai Xiao. Lin Qingyu smiled slightly. If the emperor so wishes. Before the Empress Dowager could react, Jiang Xing obediently called out, "Bai Xiao." The Empress Dowager was somewhat struck stupid. Sitting not far away, Shen Haoshi, who had superb hearing, almost spit out his mouthful of wine upon hearing this. That is hilarious for sure. Once the music ended and the audience dispersed, Lin Qingyu and Jiang Xing, under the Empress Dowager's complicated gaze, left the banquet together and returned to Xinjing Palace. Both of them were a little tipsy. Jiang Xing sent the palace servants away, sat down on the dragon bed, and irritably tore off the clasps of the dragon robe. "It's finally over." Lin Qingyu asked him, "Why did you send Shao Songxi away? With him gone, who will help you get ready for bed?" "I can take care of it myself." Jiang Xing lay on the bed. Resting one hand on his chest, he looked at Lin Qingyu with a smile. "Bai Xiao is so pretty. Everyone was looking at you during the dinner." Lin Qingyu frowned. "They did?" "No, that's why they were watching you secretly." Jiang Xing laughed. "Only I can look at you openly." Lin Qingyu sat down beside the bed. "Don't lie down. Go take a bath and change your clothes first." "I'm so tired. I don't want to move." Lin Qingyu was puzzled. You only stood for a little bit today. Why are you tired? It has nothing to do with standing or sitting. For some people, sitting for 8 to 10 hours a day can make them doggone tired. Social engagements, keeping up appearances, putting on an act are all very exhausting. Yeah, as an introvert, I agree. Then you should rest early. Jiangxing felt very conflicted. But I want it. Lin Qingyu was momentarily speechless. You also said you're tired. Jiangxing had a flash of inspiration. He said teasingly, we can do it with our thoughts. We can pretend to do it. This way, we won't be tired and we can solve our desires. What do you think? Jiang Gongxi, are you seriously kidding me right now? You're talking about phone sex when your Babe is right in front of you? I think this is why Lin Qingyu has to step up as a power bottom and ride our Jiang Gongxi to his Lin Qingyu ... Jiang Xing closed his eyes and said while imagining the scene, I'm sitting up. I raise my hand and untie the jade belt around your waist. I'm sliding off your minister's uniform from your shoulders and then... Lin Qingyu suppressed a smile. Alright, I'm done. You're here now? Jiang Xing said, astounded. But I only just took off your official uniform. I haven't even... I'm fast. Lin Qingyu said, perfunctory. Once you are done, go to bed. You have an early day tomorrow. But that hardly seems enough, Jiang Xing complained. I'm not happy at all. Lin Qingyu laughed. You are the one who's too tired. I'm not the one who's unwilling. Who are you trying to blame? Jiang Xing struggled again and again. He said, throwing caution to the wind. Forget it. So, what if I'm a little tired? After saying so, he sat up resignedly, placing his hands on Lin Qingyu's sides. Who made me so weak? Lin Qingyu blocked his approaching lips and said coolly, if you are so reluctant, I will feel like I'm forcing you. Jiang Xing smiled and said, I'm completely willing, though I do wish you would be a bit more proactive. Lin Qingyu sneered. Am I not being proactive enough? Back then, Jiang Xing knew that Lin Qingyu was going to bring up his rejection when Lin Qingyu had offered when he was still Gu Fuzhao. He dove forcefully in with a kiss to prevent Lin Qingyu from turning over old accounts. The aroma of the wine lingered in their mouths, deepening their intoxication. After kissing for a while, Lin Qingyu pushed Jiang Xing away. He turned his head, seeming a little shy. I ordered someone to prepare a hot soaking bath. Would you like to take a dip? It would help dissipate the effects of the alcohol. Jiang Xing was surprised and delighted. His exhaustion was swept clear away. Babe has some tricks up his sleeve. Lin Qingyu instantly dropped all expression from his face. Are you going or not? I'm going. Jiang Xing rolled over and got off the bed, his movements crisp and neat. If only I could run to there fast as the wind. The Imperial Palace, unlike the Summer Palace, had no natural hot spring. They would have to make a man-made bath. Numerous workers dug a pool in the bathhouse and filled it with hot water. When the two arrived, everything was ready. The entire bathhouse was filled with dense steam. It was hazy all around, like a mountain paradise. Bright red petals were even floating on the water surface. Forestalling Jiang Shan's attempt to make fun of him again, Lin Qingyu asked Sha Songxi, "Who told you to put in flower petals?" Sha Songxi said, embarrassed, "Well, you didn't say not to." This servant arranged it according to the style of the imperial consort's bath. He originally wanted to arrange it in the style of the empresses, but felt that it might be a bit too much, so he changed it to the imperial concubine style instead. Our Shao Gongxi is smart indeed. He's very smart. "I think it's good." Jiang Shan patted Sha Songxi's shoulder. "I have a reward for you later. Let's go in first." After Sha Songxi left, Jiang Shan first tried the water temperature with his hand. After confirming that it was suitable, he said, "Imperial Consort Lin, would you like to go in first?" Lin Qingyu raised his eyebrows. "It turns out that in the heart of the emperor, I am just an imperial consort. Though it is a stereotype, they do say that the empress is dignified and prudent, while the imperial consort is loving and charming. Tonight, I Ching will be my imperial consort Lin, and tomorrow morning, you will once again be my empress Lin. When you become even gentler, then you will be Lin Shufei." It really was the stereotype. Lin Qingyu untied the crown from his head and took off his official robes, leaving only a layer of inner clothing. He slowly stepped into the pool. When he didn't hear the sound of Jiang Shan following after him, he turned around. He saw the other party still standing there. He asked, "What's wrong?" Jiang Shan said in disbelief, "Are we here to have fun? Why are you wearing clothes to soak in the hot spring bath?" Lin Qingyu said, "You have to wear clothes in the hot springs. Don't tell me that in your hometown, people don't wear clothes in the hot springs." Jiang Shan said without hesitation, "We don't." Lin Qingyu was a little surprised, and his impression of Jiang Shan's hometown shifted somewhat. He used to think that most of the people from Jiang Shan's hometown were reserved and introverted. He didn't expect that they also had an unrestrained side. Jiang Shan followed the tradition of his hometown and got into the water with his torso bare. The water in the pool was not too deep, reaching just to his chest. He sat down opposite to Lin Qingyu. With his body immersed in the warm water, most of the alcohol disappeared. "Qingyu, look." Jiang Shan took a deep breath and sank into the water, leaving visibly only a tuft of short hair on the top of his head. Lin Qingyu said, "Jiang Shan." Suddenly, water splashed in all directions. The young man emerged suddenly from the water. He casually wiped the water from his face and said, "I was just playing a game. It's to see how long I could hold my breath. I used to be able to hold it for really long." It has been half a year since Jiang Shan cut his hair, and it had grown long enough to reach his collarbones. Flicking the hair like some wet puppy, water droplets splashed on Lin Qingyu. Lin Qingyu instinctively raised his hands to cover his face. "How bored you must have been then." Jiang Shan narrowed his water-filled eyes. He said carelessly, "I used to be quite bored. I didn't have much interest in doing anything. So I want to thank you for allowing me find something that I enjoy and could never tire of." Lin Qingyu asked, "And what's that?" Even when it came to love, Jiang Shan, like him, only ever says like. It was never to the point of obsession. "Liking you. It's the only thing I won't ever tire of." Just as Lin Qingyi was about to feel moved, he heard Jiang Shin add, "Oh, besides sleeping. Dot dot dot." Jiang Shin reread his confession. "Liking you and sleeping are the only two things that won't ever tire me, no matter how long I do them." Lin Qingyi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Thank you, Your Majesty, for your kindness." Jiang Shin probably also felt that his confession was a bit ridiculous. He lowered his head and chuckled, moving his hands around in the water. He sighed. "Qingyu, I have become an adult again." Lin Qingyu smiled. "Congratulations." Jiang Shin saw that Lin Qingyu was in a good mood, so he couldn't help himself from posing a death-seeking question. "Are you not jealous that the Empress Dowager asked that palace maid to lead the dance today?" Lin Qingyu raised his eyes. "And who does the Emperor think looks better, me or her?" "Of course it's you." "That's right." Lin Qingyu exhaled a hard breath. "If the Emperor left me to lust after someone else, the only possible explanation would be eye disease." Lin Qingyu's face was flushed red from the steam. It was a kind of beauty different from his usual, a beauty that could astonish. It even had a hint of danger, almost like that of a villain. A single look could draw you in deep, never to resurface. Jiang Shin spent some time admiring this beautiful scene. When he spoke, his voice had turned down low. "I really like how confident you are." Water splashed, and Lin Qingyu saw Jiang Shin walking towards him. Water droplets slipped from the hair of the young man's forehead. The young man was nimble and full of limitless vitality. Then Lin Qingyu was picked up by this young man. As he was pushed to the edge of the pool, Lin Qingyu wrapped his arms around Jiang Shin's neck and asked, "Aren't you tired? Can you still hold me?" Jiang Shin thought for a while and said, half truthfully, "I'm exhausted, but I'm willing to work hard." Ooh, I like it so much. Their intimacy is so freaking peak. I know it's one sentence, but it's fine. I can imagine limitless scenarios and I'm happy with it.